Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on the channel. So today I was figuring we would make a video about custom tactics, guys. I have been playing a decent amount of FIFA. At the start this year, I am now in Division 1. I got into Division 1 like 4 days ago. I haven't played since. I've gotten 2 rank 3 finishes in FUT Champs. So yeah, I've got some custom tactics that I think I've kind of finally figured out, a couple formations, and I'm hoping from this video that you guys might try one or two of them, and also maybe potentially further understand a reason or two why certain tactics are going to work certain ways. And if you enjoyed the video today, a thumbs up is very, very appreciated. And hopefully you guys are doing well. So my go-to formation this year, guys, is the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. Now, there's a couple interesting things that I've added with it. The first one is possession. I do really like the possession tactic in this formation. The one thing that I will tell you is that your attacking runs are a little bit worse than the balanced play style. But what I really notice here is that you get a lot more passing triangles, which is really nice. On PS5 specifically, we still have that auto drop back, AI drop back that last year's game had. So it is really nice to have the ability to have these passing triangles and extra passes. I feel like width and depth is fine there, and width at 50 is good. I like it super balanced when it comes to that. Now, there's players all over the place, guys, and that's because I've actually just sold my team. So the team is kind of just all over the place right now. If I were to use this team, my lineup would probably look something like this, probably, most likely, but, can't tell you for sure. And what's important with the 4-1-2-2 narrow is this. You've got a couple things that are very effective this year, and the first thing is the outside foot while holding L2, right? That's the very most effective finishing technique. And what you'll notice is that I have a right center mid who's a right-footed player, and I have a left center mid who's a left-footed player. That's very important. The downside with the players that I'm using and what I have been using is that Llorente at left back is not a lefty, right? He's a righty. But Valverde is a righty on the right side, and that's huge because when you get the opportunity, you're going to have a lot of space in this formation. It's a lot of narrow, quick passing, but on the wings, once you stretch out in this formation, you're going to have the ability to take a lot of Trivela shots, and that's what's really good about this formation because that shot is very effective. You can see Son on the left side has a 5-star weak foot, Coman with the right-footed player on the right side. And then you're going to want to have a cam like Neymar, Correa, Ben Yedder, somebody who's got very agile dribbling. Messi would be another player. You don't need the fastest player here in the narrow. You just need him to be able to connect your midfield to your attackers. That's the big deal here. So in terms of instructions, I do balanced on both strikers. I feel like that's the best way to go. I don't see a better way there. I think what you could do if you really wanted to, if you had a player like Haaland or one of the players in this game that is a bit lengthier, right? You could get him behind on one of the strikers. That's also something that you could do. It's very important in this formation you put stay forward on the cam. If you don't put stay forward, you're going to have a really tough time connecting the midfield to the attack. And also there's a glitch in this formation. So if you don't have stay forward on, you're going to notice that your cam is like playing left back. That's still a thing in this game. For my left center mid, I've got balanced attack and cover center. Now, what you'll notice about this is a newer tactic of mine. Like, I did not use this when I had a 30-0 with this formation. I've used 4-1-2-2 narrow quite a bit over the years. I've now got stay back on the right center mid. So when I was first using this formation this year, I was feeling like I was really exposed in it. And so what the real tactic that I changed was I put stay back on one of the center mids. And because of that, what it does as well with cover center is that your team is actually going to defend with a 4 and then a 2 in front, which is really big. And then you're going to have Salah and Correa, who you could basically run around with trying to win the ball. And that seems to be the most effective way to play it. So then also CDM, stay back, cover center, cut passing lanes on him. Now, this is where it gets interesting. We've got both fullbacks, and this is where it's a little hectic. Both are actually on stay back, and they're also both on overlap. So you're going to need fullbacks that have like very high stamina to play this way, because even Valverde and Llorente with like close to 90 stamina, I noticed them even getting tired because they're just running up and down the whole game. But the key to this formation is using the fullbacks. If you decide to play this formation entirely in the middle and you don't actually utilize fullbacks, or you play this formation where you put stay back on both fullbacks, you're going to hate this formation. The key to this formation is the fullbacks. So you can change the tactics you want to use on them. Like, for example, if you want to actually do no overlap because you're a little worried about it, you could do balanced on Valverde with no overlap on both and then stay back on the other. I just like this because I think it's a constant overload of attacking. I really enjoy playing this formation this way. So 4-1-2-2 narrow, very good way to score. I've set up a kickoff formation. Now, this is a little bit ratty, guys, but the kickoffs this year are on par with FIFA 18 in terms of how crazy they are. So what I went ahead and did is that I set up a formation to defend kickoffs, and I feel like a 5-back is really good for that because even when the 5-back is very easy to beat in the midfield, but it's that extra defensive line that's like impossible to beat. So the key to this formation, obviously, is just using it for kickoffs, making a tactic available for 5-back. I think it's a really helpful thing to help you not concede kickoffs. And the big deal is that usually, like, even if they run past your midfield, you've got that extra defender that you didn't have before. A lot of times I get beat on the kickoffs by people running down the wing and passing it inside to the striker in between the fullback and the center back. And what's key about this formation is even though they could still make that pass, you're going to have an extra defender around that area. So I've got a 5-1-2-2 set up, and yeah, you can see that I've got stay back on every player in the back line. Like, it is really ratty. I even got stay back on all the center mids, but the point of that is that you're trying to defend in a block of 8 to defend kickoff. This is a pure defend kickoff formation. So yeah, I mean, I think I really recommend you guys using this just to stop kickoffs because they're a mess this year. And you know, I guess EA just continued to not acknowledge how crazy it is. Now, 4-2-3-1. I actually closed my foot champs using this formation. I will be honest, like, the 4-2-3-1 is a lot more defensive than the 4-1-2-2 narrow, but it's very effective if you play a little bit slower. You take your time, and obviously FIFA 23 as a whole is just kind of a slower game. So the 4-2-3-1 is actually very effective this year. I closed my weekend league. I think I went 9-1 using this formation. I wasn't using it in rivals at all, and I may actually check it out. So these are actually Joxon Radona's pro tactics. You guys can check out his Twitter or his Twitch streams. He is a pro player for Complexity, and I actually tried out his tactics, and I thought in the beginning, wow, I thought they were a little bit ratty because they had there was a lot of comeback on defense on a lot of the players, but I think they are very effective, and I was still scoring a lot of goals, and I was definitely conceding less than the 4-1-2-2 narrow, even though I think the narrow is better to provide a lot of goals. So that's why this weekend I was going back and forth between these two because, you know, this one was good to close games, or if I felt like it was a closer game, this was also a really good formation to just kind of hold the lead or continue to just be patient in the game. So yeah, 4-2-3-1, direct passing. Now, what direct passing does, once the team enters the attacking zone with possession players, it creates more runs, but what directed passing also does is it pushes back the opponent's back line. So as well as this, you're going to get a lot of runs. You're also going to get a lot of long shot opportunities. It pushes back the defensive line you're playing against a lot more, which is nice because you can connect a lot more passes in the middle. Now, the striker is on get in behind in this formation. It's also on come back on defense. So the striker is going to be working really hard, but get in behind is going to make sure that the striker is making a lot of runs. Correa is on balance, so there's nothing on the cam. The wide mids are on get into the box and come back on defense. Now, what this is going to do is this is the same thing, same concept really as like Valverde and Llorente. They're going to be going constantly forward and constantly back, and that's going to really help you just defend and attack at the same time. Both CDMs are on cover center, stay pass, cut pass lanes, and stay back. That's going to provide you a really nice defensive duo in the middle, and then both fullbacks are on stay back. And look, I think this formation, I have overlap on Valverde as well, so you'll get some runs down that right side, a couple more runs, and what you can do is kind of play through the wide player and have the fullback overlap. The best way to really use this formation is just passing triangles. You've got that triangle between, you know, one DM and then the left and right center attacking mid. You've got the other one on the other side. And then once you kind of connect the striker, you've got a triangle you can use with sometimes the DM in the left mid or sometimes the cam in one of the wide mids. So it's really about patience in this formation. This is a really good formation, I think, to close out games because I think possession is a lot easier to hold in the 4-2-3-1 than the 4-1-2-2 narrow. It's just the possession you can hold in this formation is a lot better than any other formation I've used. Now, one other formation I will mention is the 4-4-2. Now, the 4-2-2 is very, very popular this year. The 4-2-2 is like a pro meta formation. I was using it last year. I just don't like it this year. I think there's something missing with it for me, I guess with my playstyle. And I think with the way I play, a lot more left stick dribbling, a lot more passing. I'm not doing as many of these get in behind through balls that I think would be really effective in the 4-2-2. Now, the way my 4-4-2 is set up, I've got 63 depth, 45 width, balance on everything. I don't have direct passing on this. The way you're going to have to use this formation and the required players you're going to need, this is a formation where you will need absolutely incredible center mids. Like right now, I would say the ideal way for me to play this formation is if I had Llorente and Valverde, but obviously that's not going to be possible with the players that are in my team. So right now, Kessié and Koundé are not the players you want in a 4-4-2. You want the players like Valverde, Renato, Marquisio, Yaya Toure. If you have god tier center mids, Mateus, right, Hullet, this is going to be a great formation to use because this formation really goes through the center mids. You need to kind of play through the center mids. They are going to be the spine of the team. They're going to be tackling and winning the ball. They're also going to be pushing forward really importantly. So that's going to be a big deal with this formation. And this formation, I will say, the way to play this formation is a lot of just X passes, just simple ground passes, playing through, reacting to what your opponent is doing defensively. That's what a lot of this formation is. It's a lot less about passing patterns, and it's a lot more about reaction time, left stick dribbling, and just simple passing. And really, the most effective way to play the formation is kind of driving down the line and then using the 2 strikers in the middle for the extra pass or the fake extra pass in the shot. Your strikers are going to see the bulk of the volume of scoring in this formation. And a lot of time what I like to do in this formation is put stay central on the strikers. I don't like to touch anything else, but I like to keep them on stay central so they make runs in the middle so I can just focus on going down the wing with Salah or Coman, right? Now, in the midfield, what you're going to want to do as well is put one center mid on stay back. You're going to probably want both of these guys on cover center, but one guy on stay back. So, in this scenario, what I would do is probably Koundé, right? He's a little bit more defensive, but again, both on cover center is what you're going to want to do. And then, what you could do stay back on both fullbacks, but what I would recommend, again, is doing one on overlap. And then for the wide mids, you'll probably want to bring one on stay back. So, in this case, I'd probably do Salah. Left side is a bit more my defensive side. So if I want to go through the right side a little bit more, I would do that. And yeah, I would also recommend probably doing, you could do stay wide, but I think get into the box for cross is a big deal. This is going to just activate you using more runs down the wing. And yeah, that's how you would play the 4-4-2. So yeah, try all these tactics. Let me know which ones you guys like the most. And for me, I'm still kind of figuring out what I like, but those formations so far seem to be the go-to for me in FIFA 23. So let me know how you guys enjoy the tactics. Let me know how you guys get on, and thank you for watching today's video. Appreciate it. Peace.